Yo, what's up guys, Ben Fire here back in the video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys my Chicago Bears defensive ebook in Madden 22. Let me know down below in the comments what ebooks you want to see in the future, both offensively and defensively. Looking to make a lot more, so let me know what you want to see. Of course, we could also update some offenses as well. Update bunch offset, like a little Colts ebook. We could update the Seahawks ebook, different stuff like that. Of course, again, let me know down below in the comments. But we're in Chicago. I like Chicago. It's what I run defensively. So again, these are going to be all of my setups, what I like to run. And it's going to be mainly in this nickel formation. And mainly these three formations, the nickel 245, 335 wide, and the nickel triple. Those are my three go-tos. Now, dime 146 is good. I don't personally run it that often. If you want, I also have videos on all of these formations, all of these plays separately. Probably like 10 plus double-digit videos on all of these formations, maybe even 15 plus. As far as the wide 245 odd nickel triple, we have at least 3 nickel triples. Probably have like 5 plus 6 wides, 4 245 odds. We have some big dimes. So we have a ton of these separately. So of course, each play is going to be kind of summarized quicker. If you want the full explanations, go check out those separate videos. But we're going to start out in the 245 odd, which is kind of today's meta in today's game. 245 odd, very, very solid. Get your safeties at linebacker. Get a quick linebacker right here with Roquan Smith on the edge. And yeah, we're going to start out with a couple of plays. Now, the main plays we're going to run that I like to do are pinch 2, cover 6. Those are probably the main 2 plays that I run. We'll talk about cover 4 drop slightly. I have, again, made videos on some other plays. I did make this Sam Mike 1 play, so there's a man coverage version. But again, this is what I like to run. I'm not going to lead you guys into the dark. I am going to talk about plays that I do indeed run myself. So that's, I think, the best way that I could do it. All right, now I am kind of an auto flip type of a guy for this 245 odd. I usually rock with the auto flip just so you can have your slot corner on that gun bunch side. Again, most people run bunch. Of course, it works against every formation as well. But the first thing you're going to go ahead and do is just base a line. That will mainly be against other formations. Bunch, you usually don't have to move many people because it is a compressed set, so everyone will kind of stand in the spots that they need to be, stood in. Now, I've seen people run with the slot corner to the opposite side. You could definitely do that. I think it works from both, but for the sake of the video, we're going to run it like this. Now, realistically, I think Roquan Smith just comes in free if we just run this play stock. So we will see if he gets in free, which he doesn't there. That's perfectly fine. We do kind of force a disengage with our defensive end. But, it's perfectly fine. Now, I'm going to show a couple of different ways I like to run this, a couple of adjustments out of this play. Again, we don't want to spend too much time. We have a lot of plays. We have a lot of formations to go through, so don't expect me to spend 10 minutes per play. But the best way to get the slot corner off the edge is to kind of stand here. When the football is snapped, you kind of run over here, and that is how you get the slot cornerback free. So, again, you kind of stand off to that right side. The ball is snapped. You have to gauge the attention of normally the right guard, and that is probably the best way. Again, the tight end, when was the last? They can block the tight end. You're automatically winning if you get them to block the tight end, but if they block the running back, the tight end, usually your pressure is going to get blocked. That's just the reality, but you've already won if you get them to block 6, if that makes sense. Makes your life easier as a adjuster in the back end. Now, again, you kind of stand here in the gap. When the ball is snapped, you run over here, kind of hover. You don't get the pressure every time, but normally, if that slot corner is not getting free, you're going to get Roquan Smith screaming off the edge. This is why it's good. 2 people getting heat. So if one doesn't work out, you still have the other. And here you see the perfect example of Roquan Smith running through. That's why I recommended you get a fast linebacker right there. Again, what did we do there? Don't know. So we're just going to, I guess, reset the play. But again, just base the line. These guys inside. Move your slot corner back in. And then again, the best way to get the slot corner, that right-hand corner in, is to stand over here. Now, against bunch, sometimes he'll get bumped by the wide receivers. That's going to happen. Realistically, if you're playing against spread or trips, it might be a little bit better just because sometimes these guys do get hit. There's not a lot you can do about it as a defensive player, so don't beat yourself up. You can't really do much unless you want to blitz the slot corner off the left, but in that case, your linebacker is probably getting bumped anyway. Here you see, again, we actually get the perfect situation. Dak Prescott just shook off 3 sacks. Don't know what that is, but we actually got the perfect scenario, the ideal scenario where you actually get 3 people through. So we force a disengage with Bilal Nichols, I want to say his name is. It is. We force a disengage with him. We get Roquan Smith off the edge cleanly, and we get our slot corner. And this is Zeke on a check and release, so he's not even in a normal route. He's in a check and release, and he still didn't block anybody, so that's interesting. This is a good scenario, and again, it depends play to play if your slot corner might get hit, but you see, again, with my user, I don't have to stand there all day. I just get the attention. Once I secure the engagement from the right defensive end with the right tackle, we're in a perfect position. Now, as far as some of these back-end adjustments, let's get into it. Right here, we're running a stock cover 2 with these soft squats. You can set these flat zone drops to whatever you would like. Normally, I'll run it stock, and I might even go cloud flats. It depends on if you want to go soft squats, a little bit more aggressive. Cloud flats are going to be more conservative. Generally, you'll give up the shorter passes like a quick flat route, but again, most people want to go up top. Here again, you see our slot corner gets blocked. That happens sometimes, and we still get Roquan Smith. And again, a lot of times when you notice Roquan Smith getting free, we still get number 98, Bilal Nichols, off the edge as well. So kind of a cool dynamic. But let's get into some of these adjustments out of this play. The first one being we're going to create a cover 3 cloud. We're going to put a cover 3 on this right side. This is for those guys that like to throw those cover 2 beaters, especially at a bunch. You're seeing a lot of bunch trail. You're probably seeing a lot of verticals. This is the ideal fix to that. You're not going to give up anything really deep unless they have a cover 3 beater, and in that case, you could also deep half B if need be. Realistically, with this play, I have seen our boy Roquan Smith get through, which he does right there. And again, you see Roquan Smith gets through, we're getting the disengage. It's usually you get 2. In actual gameplay, I notice a lot of time it's just the one guy, but in practice mode, we're seeing 2, so that has definitely happened in game as well. But again, you're just base aligning, you're doing those adjustments. This time he doesn't get free. It's not the end of the world. There's not really much you can do with the hovering, if I'm not mistaken over here. We will try something out here. But again, normally you will just put your user over here if you're blitzing that slot cornerback. I actually will try with this guy, see if this makes any difference on the fly. Hover over here. I can see how it might make a difference, but it didn't right here. That's perfectly fine. But that is the next way to do it. And this is mainly a coverage. You're not necessarily expecting to get pressure. Again, Roquan Smith can get pressure, maybe 50% of the mark, maybe less, maybe more. It just depends on how he's blocking, a couple of different variables. But cover 3 cloud, this is going to be a pretty good coverage. You have good base coverage. You're not going to get beat deep. You see, I like the way those stock curl flats play. It's defending, and you see Roquan Smith get the pressure, as I'm saying that catchphrase, way too much. So we're next, and again, we're going fast, but our next setup is going to be kind of the same heat. What we're going to go ahead and do here is we are going to create the cover 3 kind of look. I believe on, I've seen it both ways. We will show both ways, but we're going to create a cover 3 maybe over here. So we might go with something like this, and then we might play the curl flat assignment on this right side to the bunch side. So this would be a setup that I might go to. This will give you that cover 3 cloud. You're not going to get beat deep, but generally out of the bunch formation, you're usering over on this right side anyway. So me actually taking the flat assignment, it shouldn't be the end of the world. Again, you're seeing pressure, and this is a really good way to run it. I'll be honest. I love running it this way. It's aggressive, but it's just conservative enough to where you're not really giving any big plays up. Even if he does complete a flat pass, you're in there to make the tackle quickly with your user, who should be your best player. Again, the ball is snapped. You kind of hover over here. You don't get the pressure. Roquan Smith is there. Again, I would practice that kind of hovering over, getting back to your zone with your user to get there quicker. But overall, this is a very good coverage, and that's pretty much going to be it for this play. Let's hop into our next play, cover 6. Now, our next play is cover 6. This is a kind of a recent play that I actually uploaded, but again, you notice the way that these guys are set up stock out of the cover 6 is the linebackers are not compressed. You just base a line, and now we are good. We're all good. Now, stock, I do not believe we get pressure stock. And again, it's a stock 4-man rush. So we're going to go ahead, snap the football. Stock, Roquan Smith, usually he'll generally not get pressure. But when you're running the cover 6, there are ways to get pressure out of this. We will show that. I showed that in the video. But generally out of cover 6, you're looking to bluff the pressure and get him with coverage. So again, out of that pinch 2 play, I like to rush 5 as a rule of thumb. I'm usually rushing 5 unless he's blocking his running back every play. Then that's the definition of insanity, and I would probably not opt to do that. So, good way to get those guys who are just continuing to block their running back. you're not getting the pressure that you would like, there's no reason to blitz, you go coverage. So we'll go with the stock cover 6. Stock cover 6 is going to do a generally good job of just pretty much defending anything well. He should be locked up, especially if he's going with cover 2 beaters, maybe cover 3 beater on the right side. Who knows what he's doing, but he's not beating for match coverage. You'll mix this in situationally. Keep that in mind. Now, I believe the way that I got pressure was just blitzing this slot corner off the edge. And we're going to go with a, what's wrong with my adjustments? I don't know why I have this stupid, my right stick bluff play thing's not showing off, so we'll hop into another play. You gotta love the glitches of practice mode, don't you? Great game. But I said generally the way to get pressure out of this cover 6 is just to rush your slot corner. So we're going to play kind of the same game that we were doing out of our cover 2, where we're going to defend the flats. So we're using the 3-rec, we're going to defend the flats. Again, we're going to hover over here. We should get pretty good pressure out of this, if I'm not mistaken, which we do. Due to the route combination, we did get bumped, but you're going to take everything. Now, the quarter flat, it's going to do pretty simple things. You're not going to have to do a whole lot, and this is the reason why I'm okay with using the quarter flat zone. So I'm using the quarter flat. Generally, what a quarter flat does, it's going to take the flat route. So I'm going to have to use the tight end, but I can also lurk on things. I can lurk on the tight end and then defend the out route. I didn't do it good because I was kind of washing the pressure, but that's generally what you do when you're using the quarter flat. And you see we actually forced a disengage with the D tackle, I want to say. Maybe that was just a traditional shed. My mistake. But the slot cornerback does get pressure. He was in a bad position to where he did get bumped off his path. We still did get the pressure, though. So you see the blitz does work indeed. I like this setup a lot out of cover 6 if I want to mix in the pressure. But just running it stock is not going to be terrible. Again, we're setting it up like this. And against a particular, flood concept, we want to try and get that hover up quickly. We kind of hover over here. We don't get the pressure, but sometimes when you're a little bit too lazy with your particular hovering thing, you don't go all the way. That's when the pressure doesn't get through. So you can maybe get a little bit more adjusty if you need to. But that is the way to get pressure out of cover 6. Again, I don't run it too much, but I mix it in situationally. Now we're going to go into cover 4 drop. And this is a play that I just completely bluff blitz. You're not going to send pressure out of this. It's a stock 3-man rush. You have stock contains. This is just a nice, cool play to run stock. It's not going to be a match coverage version. You snap the ball stock, but it is going to be just a decent play, and it's a good way to mix them up. You go from blitzing 5 every play, 6 sometimes, even 4, to just rushing 3 with contains, and it's going to work pretty dang good for you guys. So again, cover 4 drop. I don't really adjust out of this generally. I mean, realistically, you could man up a player. I can man up the tight end if he's hitting me with delay fades a lot. If he's running, stock 4 verticals like this, maybe we man up the tight end and say, I'm not going to have to defend that. We kind of lurk over on these things. And again, it's not match coverage, so you do got to be careful. There's no cover 4 quarters in this, unfortunately. That's where we run cover 6, so we have a match option. But it is a pretty good play. I enjoy running this play personally, but you're going to have to adjust. You can do things like put a hard flat with L1. What the heck? Why is he over there? That's a little bit weird. But this is what you would do maybe against that vertical setup or even a flood setup. Maybe I man up the running back over here. You can do different things against flood like this. That would be pretty solid against it. You can lurk back over on X. So again, depends formation to formation. These are bunch situations. Not everybody runs bunch. We understand that. So that's why we have the base zone coverage. But with that being said, we're going to hop into our next defense, which will be the 3-3-5 wide formation. All right, now starting out a wide, this is another formation where you can get a safety at linebacker. We're just going to rock with Roquan here because I want to keep Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack in their spots. The first play we're going to go over is going to be 2-man under on this left side. Cover 2-man, that's what we're going to go over. And this is going to be a run defense. Now, this is what I like to use a lot against those heavy toters. Those are the guy running the ball 20-plus times a game. You can tell he's going to run the ball. He's in I form. He has Derrick Henry with 20 abilities on him. You know he's going to run the ball. So if you know he's going to run the ball, what you're going to do is just run stock 2-man under, and you're going to spy both safeties because he's pretty much committed to running. You know there's not really a threat of a pass. You have stock 2-man under. If there's anything deep, that's what you're taking. But this is generally my defense. And I want to keep everybody manned up. If he goes with play action, I don't want there to be someone wide open, be a touchdown opportunity. But this is going to be generally pretty good coverage. I kind of confused myself out there. But with your user, with the spies, it should do a pretty good job. This is usually my general defense against those guys who are running the ball every single play. I'll go to wide. I'll either run cover 4, which you'll see in a little, my actual main defense out of this, or I'll just go 2-man under. If you want to run the ball, you can, but if you pass, we're going to be a little bit of trouble. Now, again, you're in man coverage. It's not going to be necessarily the best. You can't really adjust out of it when you have your safeties in 2-man under, and we're not going to stay on this too long. But if you want, let's say I know he's running stretch to the right, maybe we can throw this guy in an inside third. We could run it like this, potentially. Again, as far as linebacker and defensive line positioning, I like to either leave them stock if I know it's going to be a dive. He's running dive. Maybe I'll pinch my D-line. I'll generally base a line, pinch my linebackers. I won't blitz all linebackers just because I don't want the guy on the running back to leave him wide open. So that's pretty much what I will do. And, I mean, yeah, pretty good coverage. There's not much else to it, so we will move on to our next play. All right, our next defense is going to be back to the pass defense. This is actually good with the pass and the run. It's going to be the cover 4 that I was talking about. This is my main defense. If you watch my gameplays, anytime I usually switch to cover 3-3-5 wide, I'm usually running this just because it's a pretty simple defense. You're not going to have to do a whole lot. If you're lagging, this is definitely a good defense to go to because you don't have to adjust a lot out of it. But generally, just stock, it's going to be pretty solid. Again, it's similar to the cover 6, but pretty good coverage all across the board here. You see everything should be matched on. Everything should be defended well. Cover 4, drop show 2. Now, we have a couple of different things we can do. If you're going against a mobile quarterback, he's scrambling out of the pocket a lot. Generally, what I'll do is QB spy A. You notice the user is still going to stay in this 3-receiver hook. Situationally, I might want to user this guy depending on what he's doing. If he really isn't throwing the ball deep, I might switch over to Eddie Jackson over here because this guy is generally not doing a whole lot. But we'll user Roquan Smith first. Again, we'll spy that extra guy if we need to. We'll snap the ball, and you see, again, just pretty good coverage. The spy's going to actually take away drags, things like that. Of course, if he's able to scramble out, that's when you can send the spy, and you should get pretty quick pressure. So this is just my general defense. You guys have seen me run this all year. If I'm cool rushing 3, if I'm getting pressure rushing 3, what we can do with this guy is throw him in a vertical hook. So now I'm throwing Khalil Mack in the vertical hook, which I wouldn't have Khalil Mack there in game. I would have him at defensive end, but now we have an extra guy. You see he actually kind of matches onto that bench pivot route or that corner route until he gets there. Now we're not getting pressure really rushing 3, so if you're not getting pressure at all, if he has like a Dan Marino, he's not going to really scramble out that often. Send that 4th guy. I'm fine doing that. Usually I'll shift the D-line to this side to create kind of a normal 4-man rush approach, just keep things even. And again, you can blitz your user, just decent base defense, rushing 4, you should get quick pressure. And yeah, you force a pick. So that's just the base defense out of this cover 4 drop show 2. One last thing you can do with Khalil Mack is you can throw him in a hard flat. So that's the last thing you can do. Create a double Mabel look. And this would not be the worst. But again, like I mentioned earlier, the quarter flats seem to take flat routes. You saw he went with that out route. And so keep that in mind when you throw an extra hard flat out there for no reason at all. But with that being said, we're going to hop into our next defense, which will be the Sam Will Blitz or Mike Blitz 3. All right, now we're rocking with the Sam Will Blitz. You could also run this out of Mike Blitz 3. They're going to be the same play design, the same setup, and it's just going to be a simple double Mabel look. So for this one, I would definitely be using zone drops. I would set my curl flats to 20 or 25 yards. I would set my hard flats to about 5 yards or 0 yards if need be. And we're just going to play it base. We're just going to throw X in a hard flat and shade over the top. This is a 3-man rush, so if I'm running this style of defense and he has a mobile QB, I'm forced to contain. You have to contain, and even the contains, they don't work. So you can't really expect it. Look, we had contains, doesn't matter. It's very annoying, especially when I run that defense. You've seen me run that defense and not have my contains work at all. Actually, in my last gameplay, that was completely the case, so it is annoying, but you just hope that they contain some of the time. Again, they're getting double teamed. You can't ask them to contain completely good, but the strength of this defense is the coverage. He's going to struggle to find someone out. That's why you see he's usually forced to scramble out, and then he's able to pick up 5 or whatever. But it's double Mabel. If he's running a lot of underneath routes with the running back, this is probably not your best bet because those routes will get open, and it'll put stress on the user between defending the running back and something else. But if he is in a random defense, this is something that's good. A lot of people actually struggle with double Mabel still. It surprises me every time I run it. I continue to forget that it's a pretty good defense, especially if you have a good user. You will need a good user, though. You're taking the middle of the field with yourself. That's something that you're doing. If maybe you notice him doing something like he's only running verticals, if this is money play, he's running only this on offense, then maybe we can put X either in a QB spy. We only double Mabel this side. I could either put X in like a vert hook, QB spy him, and now there's no worry. We send 3, we ever spy. But again, you still see it's going to be RB open, Y open. Now you will have a 20-yard curl flat. The only really crosser that will be able to beat it is going to be that verticals crosser. So in that situation, you could even maybe bump them up to 30. I wouldn't mind you doing that. But pretty basic coverage. Again, there's not a lot of adjustments to these. It's just pretty simple defense. Sometimes when you get too adjusty, that's when you either mess up adjustments, give up touchdowns like me, or you just kind of give up big plays generally, especially... you got to understand that a lot of times the players in this game are not that good on offense. They'll run. You'll see, the guys I'm talking about running stock plays, stock formations, coach suggestions type guys, and they're competing in you because it's Madden 22. These types of defense, pretty solid against that. All right, now our last and final defense is going to be the nickel triple. Now, this is kind of an exclusive, or the exclusive one where I usually don't rock with auto flip on. It works from both sides, but I like it better from the left personally. So we'll hop into, let's just go with a 5 wide, because especially if you're facing 5 wide, this is the best defense you could possibly run. Nickel blitz, just like this. You're going to go ahead, pinch your defensive line. You're going to slant outside. Now you're going to user this slot corner for our first setup. We're going to user the slot corner. We're going to stand right above Akeem Hicks right here. The ball's going to be snapped, and you're going to get a free rusher off the edge with your linebacker. So this is where you can get a fast linebacker. Should have put Roquan there. We have Robert Quinn, so he's going to be slow as dirt, but that's fine. But this is my favorite defense to destroy bots. If you're ever playing someone who's a bot, for whatever reason the game's close, switch to this. Make life on you easier. Don't try and go with match. I make that mistake. I still don't go to this defense enough. It's very good. I forget how good it is every time I run it, but very quick pressure. Still might be my favorite blitz in the game. 2-4-5 odd is nice. You get dual pressure, but this defense is still very, very good. Again, pinch your D-line, slant outside. That's all you're doing. You're going to have cover 0, but you're getting quick pressure anyway. Now, we will show you what to do in the unlikelihood that they're actually blocking the running back. So if they're blocking the running back, what you can go ahead and do maybe is, we're going to audible here. Let's go to the trips Y flex. I'm in the Trey Y flex. It's fine, but same defense. Now, I believe if I contain here, which I still am in the wrong defense here. I don't know. We're going to try out a couple different things. And we're going to user this player now. So we're going to user Trevathan. The ball is snapped, and we actually get 2 people free. So that's the way to get 2 people free. He blocks 1. You get 2. You're getting him sacked still. We're going to audible to the actual right formation that I wanted. Trips, Y flex. That's what I wanted to do. So, again, pinch your D-line, slant outside. You're going to press. Press if you want that corner down. I don't like pressing these outside guys, so I'm going to back them off. But you just stand here. Again, it's better to do with the guy on the running back, because the running back, if he's blocking, you can still use her. So the ball is going to be snapped. You hover here, and boom, 2 people out. Easy pressure. So that's the best way to do it. I really like this defense. He blocks the running back's pressure. It's such an easy thing. Again, you're not having to adjust on the back end because it's man coverage. You don't have to put this guy in a cloud fight. You don't have to do anything. 2 people, even if he blocks 1, easy pressure. And again, you're only rushing 6 people. It's not like you're rushing 7. So everybody's manned up unless he has some kind of a weird quick man beater. And again, I would use your Zeke in this situation. It's the easiest pressure money can buy. Let's hop into some of the zone versions of this. Our first zone version is going to be the Nickel Blitz 2, which is a cover 2 version of this. Now, when you're running this play, you're going to go ahead, have to blitz that A linebacker. That's just something that you're going to have to do. Now, as far as this is concerned, we can, once again, still user Shelley over here. So we're still going to use the slot cornerback. Something I've done in the past, I've just moved Trevathan over, and I'll just put him in a hook curl over here. That's something you can do if you have enough time to move him over there. That's perfectly fine. Shelley over here. Again, all you're doing is hovering over here. You're hovering. You have to do it. I don't know why, but you glitch him out, you get the pressure, and now you have a cover 2 base instead. This is if he maybe is cooking up some weird quick man beater. He just chucks up a streak and somehow burns you. Go to cover 2. Cover 2 is probably one of the better just quick play defenses as far as stopping quick passes, and cover 3 is probably the worst, so that's why we go cover 2 instead. But again, you have to blitz A still. You move Trevathan over. Again, use this blitzer. And when the ball is snapped, you're going to glitch him out and force him into a terrible read. Again, those soft squats will do a good job of baiting if he's going to throw to the outside. Things like quick flats, they could get jumped. And then, again, you just watch the middle of the field with yourself. Watch the slants, watch the streaks, and you should be pretty good with this defense. We will show it again with the slot cornerback blitzing this time. And again, same thing. The slot corner's blitzing. you're going to go ahead Blitz A. We're going to go back to the gun trips Y flex formation. Once again, it's going to be, we have to base align here. And yeah, if they're in a spread out formation, probably base align. What is happening? I don't know what's happening here. I guess Roquan's had other plans. I guess we'll try and move him back in the gap. I don't know what I did. But once again, he blocks his running back, which we'll try here. Ball snapped, and you should still get an extra rusher off the edge, which we did there. Sometimes you'll see those weird things where they get blocked. Generally, you should still get a guy free. But sometimes when they block the running back, that left tackle will actually not get glitched out. So be careful of that. But again, pretty much the same thing. Let's hop into the last one, which will be a cover 6 additionally. All right, last defense, cover 6. Going to be kind of similar to the 2-4-5 odd one. Now, cover 6, once again, pinch your D-line, slant outside. You're going to blitz that Y linebacker, and you could just run it like this. You're not going to use it as a slot cornerback. Usually in this situation, we will show a setup where we will, but for our first setup, we'll just use it through rec hook. Now, again, you don't have extra help on that right side, so that's where you're going to run. You glitch them out, you immediately go to the right side to take that vert hook assignment. That's what you got to do. But again, quick pressure, the blitz works out of any play, and that's different from 2-4-5 odd, because out of 2-4-5 odd, not every play gets that linebacker free. Usually just pinch 2. The next way to run this play is going to be if you want to use the slot corner. So we can move this 3-rec hook over. I can even put him in a vert hook, but similar to the 2-4-5 odd where I kind of took the quarter flat assignment, we can do that. And so the ball snapped, we get the glitch, and then I have to run the flats, but that should take away kind of the quick pass, if I am not mistaken. Now, it's kind of unfortunate in this situation because I don't like auto flip on with this defense, so sometimes you'll get the cover 2 on the wide side, which is the most unlikely, or it's the worst. It's just not good to have that. I like having my cover 4 on the wide side, which is why it's a little bit unfortunate. I will maybe try and flip it just to show you what it looks like from the other side, because it does still work. Here, I don't know I forgot to put Roquan in his blitz, but we're actually going to flip it. It does work. I've ran it in videos flipped. Might actually audible to the nickel blitz for this, just so it could look a little bit better. We're going to flip, and you notice everything gets a little bit crazy. So we're going to baseline still. We're going to pinch our D-line. We're going to slant outside. For this video, or for this thing, we're just going to go ahead, leave Roquan over here. We're going to use our Shelly, and then we're going to stand right here. So the ball is snapped, and you see we still glitch out that left-hand side. Now, I was probably standing in the wrong side there. I think I forgot how to do it, even myself. But I believe you actually still hover on the left side. Clearly, it didn't matter. We did it wrong, and it still worked. But again, baseline, pinch your D-line, slant outside, just like this. Maybe we do baseline, but again, you can hover actually over this guy, I believe, still Akeem Hicks. I don't think it would matter if we did either Trevathan or him. You see we still glitch him out. It might have even looked a little bit better when we stood on the right side, but that's pretty much going to do for all these plays. Very solid. Hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a big thumbs up, and peace. I'm out of here.